All right, we're back on FICA taxes again. And FICA tax consists of both Social Security and Medicare, those two parts. The 2013 rates are, for the Social Security, that's the OASDI, the Old Age Survivor Disability Insurance portion, that's 6.2% of the gross earnings up to the first 113,700 in 2013. So you'd be taking 6.2% times whatever the gross earnings are, and the ceiling limitation, once it's reached, you would have a maximum of $7,049.40 of Social Security tax withheld from the employee's paycheck. The Medicare tax is at a rate of 1.45%, and it's withheld on all wages earned in a calendar year. There is no ceiling limit. If somebody earns $500,000 for the year, you're still going to be taking the 1.45% times every dollar earned up to that what's earned. And there is an additional 0.9%, that's 0.009 as a decimal, based upon wages above $200,000 for the year 2013. The employer matches some FICA taxes, so the employer will match the Social Security tax and pay dollar for dollar the same, the 6.2% of the first 113,700 of the employee's wages up to that maximum Social Security tax of $7,049.40. The Medicare tax, the employer pays 1.45% of wages with no ceiling limitation, but the employer does not have to pay the additional 0.9% of the wages above $200,000. Examples of employees that are exempt from FICA tax include children, foster children, and stepchildren under the age of 18 who are employed by a sole proprietorship, a single owner that is 100% owned by the parents. Exempt from FICA tax are children, foster children, and stepchildren under the age of 18, employed by a partnership. That's two or more individuals, but the partnership has to be 100% owned by the parents. So another exemption here is for children under age 21 doing domestic work in their parents' home. So cleaning house, for example, for their parents. Another exemption is parents employed by their children for domestic work. Now, federal income tax withheld. Factors that are used to determine how much should be withheld for federal income taxes. Well, we need to know the employer pay period. Is the pay period figured on a weekly basis, a bi-weekly basis every 2 weeks, semi-monthly, twice a month, monthly, once a month? We also need the employee marital status on the W-4, single, married. Employee personal allowances on the W-4, is the employee claiming 0, 1, 2, 3, how many? We need to know the employee federal taxable wages for the period, and we need to know if there are any supplemental wages such as bonuses. Then we can find the correct amount of federal income tax withheld for a paycheck using the Internal Revenue Service withholding tables, and the IRS has a publication 15, also known as a Circular E, the Employer's Tax Guide, and you can request a paper copy, or you can go onto the www.irs.gov website and find the publication 15. As long as you've got Adobe Acrobat Reader, then you can pull it up, view it online, or print out. Now, we're moving into the deposits. Once we've figured all these taxes, how do we turn around and get them to the federal government, the state government, etc.? So the federal employee income tax withholding, in addition to the FICA, which is the Social Security and Medicare, Those two combined are known as 941 taxes. And the reason they're called 941 taxes is because they're reported on Form 941, the employer's quarterly federal tax return. Now, the 941 will show the employer's accumulated federal income tax withholding plus FICA withheld from the employee's paycheck, plus the employer matching of the FICA for the quarter. And a quarter would be like January, February, March is the first quarter of the calendar year. April, May, and June would be the second quarter of the calendar year, and so forth. When a pay period spans 2 quarters, you have to take and report the liability for each quarter separately. So you'll have to split it out as to which quarter applies. 941 taxes not yet paid are 941 liabilities. And when do you pay 941 taxes? Well, a 941 liability under $2,500 for the quarter, for the 3-month quarter, you have to remit the federal income tax withholding and FICA tax withholding with that quarter's 941 form. 941 liability under $1,000 for the year, the employer does have the option of filing and paying that federal income tax withholding and FICA annually. Now, 941 liabilities must be deposited electronically using the IRS's electronic federal tax payment system called EFTPS. There's an acronym for everything. The exception is an employer with 941 liabilities under $2,500 may pay the tax owed by check, credit, or debit card, or even use an electronic funds withdrawal. Now, we have to become familiar with something referred to as a look-back period. And a look-back period is the 12-month period ending on June 30th of the prior year. So, the look-back period is what's going to determine the frequency of deposits for 941 taxes. Here's an example. The look-back period for depositing 941 taxes in 2013 is the 12-month period beginning July 1, 2011 and ending June 30th, 2012. So it's not the end of December of 2012. There is 6 months in there between the 2013 year and the end of the look-back period. Why? Because reports have to be filed, the Internal Revenue Service has to do the number crunching, reviewing, and then they have to notify the employer as to the frequency of deposits. So that takes time. So at the end of each calendar year, a monthly depositor uses the look-back period to determine its deposit status for the next year. And as I said, the IRS is going to notify the payroll clerk, the business. However, it's nice to know how this is figured. So if there's some problem with it, you can contact the IRS. Employers with up to $50,000 in accumulated 941 taxes, and this is just the tax. This is not the gross payroll to the employees. This is the tax withheld for federal income tax withholding, for Social Security withholding, Medicare withholding, and the matching of that. So employers that have up to $50,000 in accumulated 941 taxes for the look-back period are monthly depositors. So we're saying up to $50,000, not over, up to. Employers with over $50,000 in accumulated 941 taxes for the look-back period become what's called semi-weekly depositors. Now, due dates for depositing 941 liabilities. Well, we have a new employer. It is a monthly depositor through the end of the first calendar year, with a few exceptions. An employer automatically becomes a semi-weekly depositor if it reaches a liability of over $100,000. This is an accumulated 941 taxes. if it reaches a liability of over $100,000 at any time during the calendar year, or $50,000 for the look-back period. Monthly depositors must remit their 941 taxes by the 15th of the month following the month in which the liability is incurred. All right, so we're going to look at a table for this, but essentially is you run a payroll for a month, the following month, by the 15th, you have to make a deposit of those 941 taxes. And if the 15th falls on a weekend, a Saturday or Sunday, or it's on a federal legal holiday, such as Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, etc., then you have until the next business day. So if the holiday is on a Monday, you will have till Tuesday. All right, here's the IRS monthly deposit schedule. This would be a good one to copy. It should also be in the book where you can take a look at it and refer back to it. But in essence, here it is the month of February, and so the deposit is due by the 15th of the following month, March 15th, unless that falls on a weekend or on a holiday, and then you have the next business day. Here we have Diaz Corporation is a monthly depositor. For March, Diaz's accumulated federal income tax withholding and FICA tax liability is $3,500. When must Diaz remit its 941 taxes to the IRS? Well, we're talking about March, so April 15th, by April 15th, the month that follows. Now, this is using the EFTPS system. And of course, if April 15th falls on a weekend or federal legal holiday, Diaz has until the next business day to make the deposit without penalty. All right, how does a semi-weekly depositor remit taxes? Employers with accumulated 941 tax liabilities over $50,000 for the look-back period remit payment using the Wednesday-Friday rule. So it's going to be twice a week. Let's see how it goes. The due date is extended one business day if a federal legal holiday falls on any day between payday and the Wednesday-Friday deposit date. So here we've got a Wednesday-Friday rule. If payday is on a Monday, the deposit has to be made by the next Friday. So the Friday of that week. If it's Tuesday, then by the next Friday, that's when the deposit is due. If payday falls on a Wednesday, you have until the next Wednesday. All right, so you can look at the chart and go through that. Example, here we have Watson Company as a semi-weekly depositor. They pay its employees on the 15th and the last day of the month. May 15th is a Tuesday. When must Watson remit its 941 taxes to the IRS? Well, since payday falls on a Tuesday, the deposit due date is that Friday. So that Friday, Tuesday's on the 15th, that Friday of the same week is May 18th. Now, if the taxes were due again on a federal legal holiday that fell on any day, May 16th through the 18th, the taxes would be due on the next business day, which is Monday, May 21st. All right, here's another example. We have Watson Company. Payday falls on May 31st, a Thursday. When must Watson remit its 941 taxes to the IRS? So payday ends on a Thursday, May 31st. So falling on a Thursday, then you have till the next Wednesday. So Watson must remit its 941 taxes by the following Wednesday, which is June 6th, the following month. And if there's any day from June 1st through the 6th, so see, Payday was the 31st, so the day after is June 1st. So any day June 1st through the 6th is a federal legal holiday. Then Watson has until the next business day, Thursday, June 7th, to make the deposit.